of Lot, by virtue of walking with Abraham, had been developed. He has spiritual antenna to know things, so he could know things. The Bible describes him a righteous man as a righteous man. He was a righteous man, meaning, you know what it means for a man to inherit righteousness before God means you practice it. God does not confer righteousness in those days if you do not walk in the path. So Lot had walked in that path, but it was unfortunate that there was fight in chapter 13, stirred up by the servant of Lot and Abraham, because they were both blessed now. You know, so Abraham said, well, there is no need for us to fight or quarrel because we are all kinsmen. So then he was sitting at the gate of Sodom. What was Lot doing at the gate of Sodom? Maybe you should go back. Or before we go there, remember we are talking about the Two Pre-Adamic Serpent, but I will break it down to the conclusion of the first part, and then we move into this other part. Let's read from chapter 13 from verse 1. Let's read from chapter 13 from verse 1, and then we go to chapter 18 and 19. We have to be fast.
And Abram went up out of Egypt.
Yes.
He and his wife,
okay,
and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south.
Yeah.
And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver and in gold.
Okay.
And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel,
okay,
unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai.
Yeah.
Unto the place of the altar, which he had made there at the first.
Okay.
And there Abram called on the name of the Lord.
Okay.
And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents.
Okay.
And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
Okay.
And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee.
So I want you to take note of what the Bible said. The Bible said the Canaanites dwell in the land. Perizzite and the Canaanite dwell in the land. In Genesis 28 verse 1, Isaac warned Jacob not to marry Canaanites. There's a reason, which I explained to you the last time, that you had the sons of Seth married the daughters of Cain, because Genesis 4:17 says Cain knew his wife. Of course, it might not be mentioned here whom the wife of Cain was, which I read to you. Cain means smith, Abel means breath. So then I told you, I said Adam was aware that God breathed into him because so he named the children after the two others. One was smith, form. The other one was breath. You get? So meaning he had a spiritual knowledge. So he said, Abel, your name is this. This is breath. You are formed, which is smith, the one who forms. So two things. So one represents the dust and the other one is purely spirit. So immediately after he departed, he knew his wife Eve and then gave birth to Cain and Abel. Cain first, Abel second, right? And then you saw what happened between the two children. Okay? So now it was said that, okay, of course, for somebody to know his wife, it means he had a wife. If he doesn't have a wife, he will not know the wife. So, and then gave birth to Enoch. Now, God had an agenda for Cain's tribe in order to redeem the generation of Cain, because of Enoch with God in that tribe could not really be sustained so much, because he worked so much with God that God had to take him out of that tribe. Why? Because of the connection of that tribe. Now listen, you see, the Bible says he built the city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. That was how Enoch prevailed in the land. He walked with God. A whole city was named after Enoch. So it's not just about just Enoch walking with God. Enoch of the old serpent. This is actually what the old serpent had a problem with. It's the seed of the man. So that is why he never went to man. He doesn't have a problem with man. He only had a problem with woman, because it is the woman in the book of Revelation 12 that is supposed to carry the seed. You understand? So when Mary entered into prophecy, becoming that angel that was the pre-Adamic Mary, you understand? The pre-Adamic Mary was shown in the book of Revelations 12. So when that woman was there, she was an angel given 2 wings to fly. You understand? That was the pre-Adamic Mary. So when Mary entered into the nature, the pathway of prophecy, she became that woman, having 12 stars, you remember, with the child in the womb, the sun and the moon, tallying with the revelation of Joseph in Genesis 37, wherein he said he saw the 11 stars bow to him, the sun and the moon. And the father said, "Shut up, what do you mean?" Who is the husband of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Now, I'm giving you this so you can write it down. We've gone through all of these. You just have to bring everything together so you can understand the prophetic pathways. So there was a pre-Adamic Mary, the one God knew, who was going to be a virgin. Why?